Tuesday?
That's what I'm gonna call you today.
I just laughed, I said, Bill, it hadn't happened yet. And he said, well, that's the first thing I did in December, and I said, I'm not gonna have to do December, I'm gonna keep on.
Well, Matthew's supposed to be helping me work on this thing on a break or something with the videos, because there's real no way to pause it. He's got some way to set it up because of next week in the budget. So we're supposed to work on that this week. Because I don't know how many just stop it.
I get it.
Madam Clerk, are we clear? All righty. We'll call this meeting to order. We'll open the evening with a moment of silence. We can pray, meditate, or just enjoy a moment of silence to yourself. Thank you. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we're going to move on to public comment. I don't believe there's anybody signed up, but is there anybody that wishes to speak during the public comment period? Okay, seeing none. Moving on to the approval of the minutes, council, are any corrections, additions, or deletions to the minutes presented? Okay, if not, is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Make a motion?
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to updates from council, if there are any. Any updates? Okay.
I'm sorry, Mayor, and you were on which item right now? I've been distracted here with trying to get the Zoom up.
Oh, no worries, we're headed to the consent agenda.
Okay.
Alrighty. Moving on to the consent agenda. Any questions, comments, concerns to any of those items? I know we added the budget ordinance number 3, isn't that correct?
Yeah, I just wanted to note that that was added, and that was to account for underpayment to Mills River Fire. The value we received was less than what was actually billed, and every year we go and audit our fire contract payments to Fletcher Fire and Rescue and the Mills River Fire and Rescue. Mills River Fire and Rescue is just on that one parcel. So what we think happened is we only got either just the business personal or the real on it, and it wasn't the complete valuation of both things. And so once they went back and audited it, that's what they discovered, that amount that was just over 20,000 in there. And then the amount from Fletcher Fire and Rescue is covered by appropriations already in the budget.
Okay. Do we have any questions? All right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Make a motion
Okay,
to approve.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving into our discussion items, our first discussion item, item number 7, is a selection of a candidate to fill an at-large vacancy on the planning board. Council, you have your ballots, I believe. So you just need to write your preferred candidate, and you also need to sign your name on the ballot to go into the record. And if there's no discussion, you all are free to vote whenever you're ready.
I'd like to say thank you for everyone that applied for this position. Very, very talented folks here, and thank you for everything that, you've done for this. I know it takes time, but very, very qualified to everybody, so thank you for trying to say the words here, the interest in the town. So if you don't get on this time, please try again.
Absolutely.
Hey, Sheila, will you write your name on the top, please?
Sure.
And Mayor, I still don't have Keith Reed logged in here. or
Okay.
up on Zoom, so it may need to be with just the,
We had Keith's ballot ahead of time.
yeah, I know, but he's not here to vote on that once you take action, so,
Okay,
or virtually.
okay, sure. Oh, well, I think my ballots are unanimous, and there, Ms. Robin Mondin will be appointed to the at-large position. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We'll still need to do a motion. Is there a motion to appoint Robin Mondin to the at-large vacancy on the planning board?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries, and congratulations, and again, thank everybody for applying. We had a really well-qualified group of folk, and please, like Trevor said, apply again, and continue to
Yes.
stay involved in the town, and we thank you all.
Thank you.
All righty, moving on. Item number 8, we had a little bit of discussion about this last week, the proposal for the consulting services from Retail Strategies. Do you want to give a brief review of that again, more?
Sure, Mayor, and this is partly for the benefit of Sheila, who wasn't able to make it last week. So I had mentioned at the prior meeting that staff was going to be reaching out to a consulting firm named Retail Strategies, and this is for the purpose of some potential consulting assistance to help with the town center project. It's something we haven't, there's various firms out there that do different levels of retail analysis, and this is basically trying to determine gaps in demand or gaps in availability of retailers that meet demand, and then looking at what retailers are available out there to fit that for where you have gaps in your community. And this firm in particular, and why I kind of held off on recommending this in the past, is some just did a gap analysis, and it was good data, but they really there wasn't a lot of consulting assistance beyond saying, these are the potential retail gaps that you have and what might be some firms you can go after. This one does a little bit more of a holistic approach as far as consulting services to the community. And the reason I wanted you to have this in advance is there's plenty of time to look at it. I would have had the consultant here this evening, but she had a conflict with being here for the March meetings, but will be here at the April meeting. But essentially, what this does is it takes a little bit beyond that. They do that gap analysis, but then they also put together a plan and meet with local stakeholders here, meet with realtors to get that kind of feedback and connection with retailers as far as properties that are available. Obviously, our focus is on the town center property, so it's the acreage around Town Hall and up on Highway 25. But they do that piece and then also try and marry that up with potential developers that are out there that might be a fit, that could go after some of the uses we'd like to see. So that's kind of the services in a nutshell. The other thing is they do have a track record of success. They are a national firm, but they've done work with quite a few communities in North Carolina. They've done work with Shelby, Wake Forest, Laurinburg, just to name a few. And then they list some of the firms that they were able to land with those communities. And I know there was some concern or feedback from last week that they were just kind of national brands, and some of it, might be some of the things we weren't, might not be our highest ideal as far as if it was just these national brand restaurants or other retailers. But they have had success with that, and I did hear back from the consultant, they do try and they do work to identify regional entities as well, not just national brands. And she had several other points on it relative to having that communication, making sure it's a good fit, talking to the different parties. And so it's kind of a lot of information and analysis, but also trying to put the parties together to get you there to the next step. So I think it's worthwhile considering, it's an annual contract. The cost is $45,000. And Ms. Backus, who's one of the representatives of the firm, will be here, like I said, in April to talk a little bit more about this. But I think it's worthwhile to consider. And Eric Roof, our planning and zoning director, both thought it had a lot of merit. So, and I hadn't, the other thing that we hadn't pushed this before was some of the other developer groups we've negotiated, we've kind of let, with our input, obviously what we'd like to see, let them take the lead in identifying businesses that they think they can bring. So that's it in a nutshell again.
All right, do we have any questions about that? Our presentation, that's more in-depth next month, it sounds like
Yes.
from a representative. So,
Did you say the contract is like $45,000 for the year?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
all right, any other questions? All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing that representative next month, and we thank you, Mark.
Okay, thank you.
All righty, moving on to item number 9, the use of town-owned property for industrial purposes. We had a little bit of discussion last week about removing the Meritor property from the for sale status with the Partnership for Economic Development, I believe, so far. It seemed like everybody was on board with it. I know, Sheila, you weren't here last week, so Mark, do you want to talk about it maybe just a little bit?
So we've been listing for about, maybe going on year 3 with the partnership, some of our property, not all of that Meritor piece, but it's about 6.76 acres, and it's being listed for $570,000. And that number was determined on an appraisal. We did a full book appraisal back in June of 2021. And that's how, and that amount of acreage of the 91 acre parcel, because it's obviously a much bigger one, that was what was deemed as buildable. And even some of that buildable area is challenging, like over 5 acres of that is in the flood fringe, which you can build in, but you have to elevate above base flood elevation by 3 feet, the lowest finished floor. So there hasn't been much interest or activity. We were just contacted recently by the partnership that they did have an inquiry, and it was, do you want to continue, are you still interested, the town, in listing this for a potential industrial client, and are you good with the price? It's been a little bit of time, so if we wanted to continue to list it, we might want to consider updating the value, and it may be at the same amount. It hasn't been a terribly long time since then. And again, it's valuing that property that's buildable much higher than the rest. The rest of the property is not as high of a value because of all the building limitations and flooding on the rest of it, so. And then I talked last week just a little bit, you might want to consider pulling it just for lack of interest, but also maybe the town holds on to that little bit of buildable area on there if we need to relocate Public Works, one day, and Parks and Rec maintenance to that site. So that's kind of staff level recommendation at this point.
I would agree with the recommendation. Are we all in agreement there? So we'll need to make some action. I'm not sure if you have any questions or comments. Are we all okay with that? If so, I just need a motion to remove the town's Meritor property for being listed for sale with the Partnership for Economic Development. If anybody would like to make that motion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I'm assuming that if something comes up this summer and she has a particular project, I would assume that she would just go ahead, she being Brittany Brady, she would just approach us at that time and we could re-enter into an agreement.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it at any time.
Yeah.
This would just take it off of active
It's fine.
listing.
Okay.
So,
Is there any more discussion? All right, seeing no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. All righty, moving on to item number 10, the unassigned fund balance excess reserves recommendation. Mark, are you presenting that? Or is
Heather
Okay.
Taylor's presenter, assistant manager.
Thank you for being here this evening, Heather.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I come to you tonight with a recommendation for our excess reserves. So back in 2017, Town Council approved a fund balance policy, which basically stated that we wanted to keep between 45% and 65% of our unassigned fund balance as a percentage of our general fund expenditures. And that policy outlined what we do if we're below 45, but also what we should do if we are over the 65. And at the end of last fiscal year, we were about 75%, so we were over the 65%, because we had an unassigned fund balance of $6,308,923 and general fund expenditures of $8,476. So to bring down the amount, we'd be looking at maybe going down about $850,000. And per policy, there's a couple different things that council can consider. One, use it for one-time expenditures that do not increase reoccurring operating costs that cannot be funded through current revenues. Number two, startup expenditures for new programs, provided that such action is approved by the town council as in considered in the context of multi-year projections of revenue and expenditures. Three, appropriate it to lower the amount of outstanding principal on existing debt. Or four, lowering the property tax rate. My suggestion after looking at our numbers is that we apply the $850,000 to two of our debt service, two of our loans. With the first one would be applying approximately $371,000 to pay off the town's Truist, or the formerly SunTrust loan for the town hall project. This would save the town $10,000 in interest, but would also free additional space within the debt side of our CIP budget. So we basically have another year and a half of payments, of debt service payments. And then, since we had to go up to $850,000, my recommendation would be to apply $479,000 towards one of our two USDA loans, which is the original $5 million loan at 4.125%. And again, this is for the town hall project. And this would save the town over $640,000 in interest and would shorten our payments by 50 monthly payments or 4 years and 2 months. So that would be my recommendation to council, and if you would like to move forward, I would prepare a budget amendment at the April meeting.
Okay. Questions, comments, concerns?
With both of them added together, that's $650,000 worth of savings.
Yes.
So, I mean, great job of finding that right there
Yeah.
for the
So I
town.
think it would be prudent of the town, so.
That's
And I know another question, we hadn't discussed this last year, what is our interest rate we're making on our savings? And right now, we're about 5.25% on our interest that we are making, but I do think that we have enough money in savings that we can pay down some debt and move forward with that.
So to pay $479,000 on two USDA loans will save us $640,000 in interest?
Because that loan, I know some of you weren't here, but two USDA loans were 40-year loans.
Okay.
So they were just a very extended.
And what's the interest rate again for that?
So it's 4.125%. And the first one, which is the one that we pay off completely, is 3.707%. And those are our two highest notes too, right now.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
Do we have any questions? Are we okay with Heather and staff preparing a budget amendment? Sounds like we're okay with it. We thank you, we appreciate all that
Thank you,
work.
Heather.
Thank you.
It's a good problem to have to be over and not under.
Yeah. That's a much better problem. All righty, moving on to your town manager's report, Mr. Manager.
Okay. All right, thank you. Last week, I'd mentioned just several things. The first, the grant assistance for the Greenway Trail extension. Rebecca Robinson's been working with us, and you'd heard from her initially about the Connecting Community Trails to, Connecting Communities to State Trails grant, excuse me. And then she had a second grant program that they've identified as well, a little bit larger pot of money. Not as much on the first one, the Connecting Communities to State Trails. That's only, we were hoping in the $500,000 range between match and the grant. Now that's in the $200,000 between match and grant. The second source, which is a little more competitive, and it's a little bit further down the line, later in the year, I think it's in September, the second one, it's more competitive, it's later, but it's a larger pot of money. So she's going to be prepared at the April meeting just to come talk to you all about this and see if we want to go after either one of these or maybe both, and try and stack them. The dilemma with the first is you can only do soft trails, and really, our strong recommendation, if you can, is to do them as hard surface trails, because once you start really building these out far, it's a maintenance challenge, really, to try and keep up with it. So, she'll be prepared to talk a little bit about both of those, and we probably just try and get some direction on what you might want to do. And I know there was questions about the maintenance cost impact, so I'll be prepared to talk about what we think the maintenance, at least maybe in the first year, what that would be if we extended the trail out on the Meritor property.
Did you find out anything on the grant the county got on the riverbank restoration, how that's going to fall?
Yeah, we heard a little bit more information about that. Yeah, so the county, we've heard through Conserving Carolina, Rebecca Robinson had told us that there's, and don't quote me on the exact amount of the money, I want to say it was 14 million that's coming through the county. It's administered by Soil and Water Conservation, and basically there's going to be a big amount of money for stream restoration, which includes stream banks. Our dilemma with a lot of the park trail is some of that stream bank is eroding into our existing Greenway Trail. If this money can be programmed, which we're hearing there's a decent likelihood that some of the stream repair, stream restoration work is going to go towards Cane Creek. They're already designating some all the way out to the Taproot property, so where that large residential development's going, and then over onto the Broadmoor to do this stream restoration. And we're hearing there's maybe a decent likelihood it's going to come down the rest of the way, like coming through the park.
Okay.
And the other area across the our property, town's property across from Meritor. So that can set up nicely for basically getting that stable, so that if we're building the trail, we're trying not to keep it too close to the stream, but it prevents some of that erosion that can come up or damaging a trail. So that's another update. And we met with Mary Roderick, who's with Landis Sky, about another stream restoration type project, but we're trying to weigh, is it worth it to go after that one? They've identified some part of our stream that runs through the park along part of the Greenway Trail that's like further, what direction is that? I think going north along the trail, across that bridge at the back of the park, and down a little ways there on the left along the stream bank. And they may hold off on that because I'm not sure it's worth going after this, especially if there's going to be bigger stream restoration work going on through that other pot of money that's become available. And I can't remember the exact name of that. We met with an engineer in the field, and he's working on it. He may be the one that's selected, he's not sure, to work on this project. So we learned a fair bit more last week meeting with Mary and him. So, but I think good news is there's some resources out there, and some of them are competitive, but it may be worth it to keep moving forward, keep applying, so we can at least start building a first leg of this going out that way.
Thank you.
Okay. Unless there's any questions on that. I'm still trying to set up meetings. I'm shifting to legislative delegation and our legislative priority list. And I've reached out to Senator Moffitt's office and to Representative Baucom, and I'm having a difficult time setting up a meeting right now. And we're trying to do this before they go back. And it's a short session. There may not be a lot that happens in the short session, but sometimes there is, and there are things that get funded. And
It's good for them to know it.
Yeah. So, Mayor, I may ask you to reach out
Sure.
to them, since having a little difficulty right now getting a meeting set up. Then the other one on the legislative delegation side would be with our congressman's office, so with Congressman Edwards, setting something up. We usually do that through Tommy Walter. So that should be happening. But I mean, I was throwing out dates to our state legislative delegation folks, and I couldn't get a commitment yet. Next thing, the document shredding and event, pill drop event. So, you know, every year we're doing, we did one in the fall, which is great, but we try and do a spring shred event so we can come shred your documents. That's set up for April the 20th from 9 to noon in the south parking lot. Our police department will also be coordinating a medication turn-in, or we call Operation Pill Drop or Pill Drop event. So that will be going on as well simultaneously. And we also have going on, I didn't have my notes here, but at Public Works, they're going to be available to load mulch. So our excess mulch that we have out there from doing brush chipping, for anyone who wants that. And this past weekend, they loaded 20 loads out there. So made a pretty good dent in it. So that's coming up April 20th from 9 to noon. And next thing I wanted to mention, I know last week there was a couple questions about status of the pay and classification update. A draft of that has been completed, and I know the mayor and some of you had expressed some interest with being able to meet with the consultant before he presents a recommendation at the April meeting. So we've got that set up for tomorrow. I know mayor's meeting at 9, and then we've got a 2 p.m. set up for Jim and Trevor. So, and that was it from council that was interesting. And again, it's just to go over the process, if you want a little more time, of how he does that. So, and then budget workshop, just last thing. just a reminder, so next week, Tuesday, 8 o'clock, there'll be some light breakfast refreshments here, or breakfast food, and we'll plan to start at 8:30. And again, this is to hear the full budget requests, presentations from department heads, and we've invited Fletcher Fire and Rescue here as well.
Good.
And of course, our IT with Matthew. They've renamed it now, it's WNC IT Business Solutions, something like that. And that's all I had.
All right, we take any questions from Mark? All right, is there any other business from council?
Nope.
All right, I didn't talk to you, Sheila or Jim, but are you two okay going into closed session this evening?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Is there a motion to enter closed session for a contract negotiation?
Make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of entering closed session, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are in closed session. We'll go. Mayor.
If they do come in here, and I would let them in, yeah. Congratulations. And it should be along here when they pop up, then I would accept it, yeah, and then he should pop in, so.
That's chief. That's the chief.
I'll leave it up.
Why he gets on the outside.
Yeah.
Everything good with y'all? I hear it every day.
See you at the next meeting.
Did you?
Oh, really? She wasn't invested enough, so all our people were going out of the way to compensate her and stuff, and she wasn't engaged in that. I think what happened is she could graduate.
Yeah.
She has no other classes, so she got a little thirsty from sleeping in, staying out late, and so she just was, tired all the time. A couple times she called me.
Really?
I sent it back that way. No investment. I sent it to her, I said, we're going with this. You're not sharing it because I told you we had the intern.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
it's more funny than anything.
Yeah, that's not good to just, I'm tired and not be there, yeah. Grant, my son, did a structured internship with high schools when he was at North in there, but he did it with the dentist's office because he got this interest about maybe being orthodontist. He would be an orthodontist.
You changed his mind after that?
No. What changed his mind, and maybe it was all for the better, is he was taking his science classes because he had to go like all the way up to organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is pretty hard. A lot of people have a hard time with it. And he did well in his lower level, which were still genomics and biology, and he got to organic, and he didn't pass it, and he didn't want to take it again. I can't remember if he tried. And yeah, it's like, apparently at App, their chemistry program is really tough too. And so yeah, I was proud of him. He made it up to that point, but so that was probably a good thing because maybe he didn't, being a dentist wasn't the best thing for him. So then he finished his degree and went back to Japan because he got accepted into this graduate program. It's a really good school. Yeah, I mean, it's called KO. It's like one of their Ivy League schools, so it was a big deal to get, and he got into KO. And it was Innovation Design Studies, which is a lot of research and creative thinking and some business aspects. And then he did this business part of it. He stayed on longer. And anyways, so he's there, he's married, he's got a job.
And he come home anytime soon.
No.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy.
I hope he does, or at least comes to visit us, or if he has a baby in tow, we'll do that.
That just seems, that'd be.
Feels weird
I
to
have
be.
I have a hard time with the kids in Chicago. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it feels weird to have a daughter-in-law now, you know?
Oh,
It's, you've got a bunch of in-law kids now, so it's, yeah, that feels weird saying that.
Yeah, you gotta adjust to it.
I'm so glad we met her in September.
Recently, yeah, you
you know,
recently.
Yeah.
I will see you in the morning, Lord willing.
Yeah, we'll see you in the morning. Yeah, and I went through your budget. I have some questions, nothing major. Just some.
You wanna hit it tomorrow, or?
Yeah, I'll get with you tomorrow. I have some, just an idea and some things and so I was gonna ask you about.
Sure.
Okay.
It's his fault that we're having this late. He's late from behind the deadline.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on. I said, trying to get her back in there. She's doing good.
I went over to her, that he must have pulled to get justice. She was,
And I don't know if she'll see the interested, but
she done it, but she come back to me. So then this, she does, and this, she does, I told you, hold on. Not for a while, she said, I'm surprised. But she looked at me. She was reading good. She went out, she was talking fast. And then 2 hours later, Jack comes by. He comes up and grabs my hand and shakes me. How you doing? I said, I'm all right. This is, I'm sure. He was there. He said, I know. I've done. I said, I know you have. I said, 2 weeks it was great. We used to do this in a day.
And here's the thing, like, so now that she was not active anymore, I'm sure they'll be calling her instead of me. But, so now you have a route. And I told her, I said, surely they're not going to think that they are going to have to man a early voting location and be in a primary day runoff location behind you. That's stupid. Who's going to let them know?
I know we miss Thursday, but you do it, I appreciate it. But, this kid Michaela, big town, she was there every day, everybody got it. So
She wasn't there the whole time. She would come and go. Because like in the 2 days I was there, she was coming and going and she did helping. Those 2 days, she was there when I got there and then she would leave and then come back. And she did it probably twice both them days. And then she would be there when I left.
7:21, it's 10, one car comes in, I do it. And then at 5:27, a little cold, it was there. I walked up to the car and drove through, and I said, y'all have water that comes in? I said, I'm frozen, yeah, I have months. And they say last month, and that's fine. You know, anyway, that ain't gonna matter.
But here's the thing, what they don't understand. And I know she was something about, oh, they did great, whether or not we were doing it. And yeah, that was that great. But for you, it really was that great. It's screws you over because what are you even doing there? Because most of them are there and they're not going to come and talk to you. So it really, in my opinion, what is the point in having you stand and poles that are really under you for that?
It's just a walk test, and we made it walk. I'm driving, leave on the first 2 spots. I got Mary's in that mid-second spot, the park, not on the line, far line.
We had it on the track.
Between the truck and the car.
So they were-
walk straight from O'Reilly's and straight by Sheila. So they said it down, something more. Then I got 4 spots, and they were going. But most of them walked straight in, because they were the ones that were from the door. They didn't know that it was only in that door.
I mean, I really don't like houses.
No, it wasn't everybody.
But see, here's the thing, they like it, and so that's how it's gonna go.
That's right.
So, I mean, which sucks for us, but it is what it is.
And then David's daughters, Caleb, David's daughter, David stood up, corner of Colorado Field. Their sign, Carl David was trying to turn on, but to go down, I said 4 spots instead of 1. But they said everybody stood off. So it was, that actually really was that. It's just that good. I said, I don't have, it's hard to wait, but you need to get them to understand. It's a Monday, Tuesdays, because I have it, and I said, it was so windy, that I didn't say that, I said, it's weird. So I went all to 7 good states, and I just took my swing, and I swung it down, and then come down, which gives me. said, no. And I said, I'm not babysitting that tent with the wind blowing 50 miles an hour.
And
Of
he
course
was,
it
it's
is.
a hazard, because what if it was for this,
Well,
I have a
I did brush with the college there. That's what I say, one day, those winds were cool.
Well, Huey on those 2 days, and it wasn't super bad wind, but it was windy enough where it was moving. And he found like just that much in between the pavement and the curb that he could expect something that
We
was
tried to do
good
that,
enough.
so I had ways to go on the ways, but one day, we were saying that it was Santa Claus, and the wind was blowing. And I mean, it dust up there. We just kind of set up and sail over the islands, the waves would cross over the whole thing, right? And we just got the weights down, get the weights, we stand holding on to the weight. I said, you, we ain't doing this because you're leaving, and I am not babysitting this thing all day, I'm sorry. So we know you didn't have it up a minute, we were thinking about that. And that's their personal thing, that's your reason. I said,
Okay, if you want to take with your stuff there or whatever, fine. But I mean, like the day, primary day, when I'm doing GOP all on my own, I'm standing back there putting a table on the table.
I put the banner up on the thing, I put the table out front, I put the 2 chairs, and the information on that table, we need to go on. But the table won't keep it on the table. So, you know,
The tent's
we
on
don't
the
need it. She took the ballots and carried them with her, but it ended up working out.
It did.
They were messing
Yeah.
out already with the ballots.
Yeah. Well, here's the
And then she
thing.
thought that woman good. You know, she thought that woman that was working for the GMP, said she wasn't. She was maybe healed and,
So she was a volunteer for the GOP at that, at
they were
the,
passing out the GOP ballots already filled out with her name on recommendation by Angie.
well, she can't be working for the GOP. She's
Right,
doing
that's why we
that.
complain. Well, when we went to that little library on Thursday, Tuesday, she was out there doing the same thing. She had her husband sitting in the GOP, and she was out on it was like passing these ballots out.
Well, I guess technically she could do that if she's
all
not
right
on
she
the
was
thing
all
or.
right. She would all right on that with the car. We can go there, stay. If we stay long enough, we're shooting a little more. And I know she has time on the house. It worked out this, so it was, Wayne Gary's going to do the pleasure of choosing one of the Daniel is over there, he saw one on, he called Brad. After him, for 2 weeks.
Well, I told you, right, I told you, I told Sheila, me and Marissa were out there, everybody else had left, and, all of a sudden I see Cecil, and that man's walking up, and I thought he was like an observer. And so, you know, I said, hey, how are you? I said, are you working here? And he was just very, like, weird, suspicious, like, no, not exactly. And so me and Marissa, we didn't really know what was going on. And I had the ballot, and then I had Sheila's under the ballot. Because, you know, from 12 to 4, I was technically GOP. Thank goodness Mitzi was here for that, even though I still had this now. But anyway, so otherwise, I would have hers under the ballot. And that was always, people didn't tend to take just for candidate stuff, but they always wanted a ballot a lot. So I would just sneak in like that, you know? And so he was like, do you know somebody by the name of Wayne? And I think that was the last name. And I said, I don't know. I said, maybe, you know, he's in here. I thought maybe he was a whole commercial. And he said, okay. So he came in here for a while, and we were out there, and he comes back out. And I said, did you ever find, you know, the guy? No, he must not be here. And I said, okay. He goes, is it just y'all here? And I said, yeah, I've been here since about 8:30. And I said, there was somebody for Andrew out here for a while, and then he left. And I never did get what he was going for, you know. And then all of a sudden, I had the Oh, he makes it sound like it's great. Yeah. He makes it sound so different than it really is.
That's funny.
You know, council makes all the reports. So that's why it's like, there's somebody that can come and ask council to like, you know what I mean? Because like when the circuit board is done, they can't just kick somebody off. They have to come off like, on, you know, we voted off or whatever. I mean, I know, but we don't have
I know that.
I mean,
I'm not nervous.
I think you would be, you just don't think so.
No. Because I'm all the time, like, I'm living in my life.
But see, if you're up there, and you do all the information, and you're in all the,
Yeah, I'm
you see
super
what I'm
interested in that. Super interested. Maybe I'm listening to that. Really good memory. But, I didn't really realize that she, I don't know, she said, you know, that's really something that I think.
Oh, yeah.
Vice versa. And I don't know, you know, even Jan, Jan's girl, just one of the first five. And I said that in conflict with those five.
You know, it happens so much, you know, when like the spouse dies, the one was finishing, you know, so I mean, it does happen.
Yeah.
I know it does.
I'm sorry.
I know, and so, I mean, the finishing part will be fine, other than the fact that we have to step up from the fire board. So see, that is the problem.
It's true too, you know, that somebody like me, whoever got it, stay over that. We're gonna have experience time.
So that, you know,
It's good, you know.
so for what?
But this,
Who up there again has any school?
she's got bachelor's and
School and no nothing.
I don't know.
I don't know, that's not school, that's not.
Where'd you go to jail? You really get it.
He tells me all,
You're smart.
here's the name it, yes, she's none.
It's
And,
not fair.
yes, and it, I mean, I'm not sure. Exactly. So it's like, could I just like do the job? Yeah, could I win an election? Probably not.
It's just like this old man, I'm up for breakfast, Saturday, I'm gonna stand and I'm gonna say, hey, you sitting on that tailgate, early vote, you must have done a good job. I said, yeah, I ain't had a long whip, eat early. So, every time apparently he come, I sit until I said, that's why I like this spot. It's cool right there, the umbrellas are right there, you know, the shillings to go, make a promenade, ice, you can get a truck and do what you do.
Yeah, I know not being able to have vehicles there for us was a pain, but I'm glad I didn't have a car park with you for that, you know, so that's fine. But I didn't sit a whole lot, I sat probably more on primary day than I did either Thursday or Friday. I stood the whole time, let me tell you, the order I did, you think it would hurt my feet, but man, it hurts my back, your lower back. I
That's so
said,
sweet. And then we run and we get the truck one night. I couldn't push it with it. My feet cramped so much. I couldn't, and I got water all day. And my feet, I said, I was on the phone with she was mine. I said, don't know about you, but my feet are cramping. That's all I need to break them. And she goes, I know, I'm so sore. I said, yeah.
People don't realize,
And they come 5 minutes, they're out. You know?
well, they don't realize what it really would you go through to run whether it's successful or not, a good campaign, you know, they really, unless you've done it, you don't get it. It's a lot of work.
Recognition, they started with that. They had pressure, most of their girls. I took a 10 up there, even though I took a 10 up there. I said all tears out every morning, you know, and I tore everything down. I mean, you ain't had one negative. Listen to me, do not care about that. And every day, it's such a good day. And when they poured up, I knew they were going to be healed. And I said,
Why? They said-
"Hey, that ain't-
Why?
It's their stuff, it's their job, you know. Now, you can help. But don't do
You
it
know,
for
we're
them.
doing that first day up there, that's why we were like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you?
She helped me with that.
Who?
Yeah. She informed me, I know. And I said, well, she goes, I'm going to teach you. I said, okay. I said, you go on? I said, no. I said, I'm not going to go with you. No. I said, but I do it, but she goes, really? See, there's the stuff.
it's always just us, it's the four of us, and then whoever else decides to come, right? And, Sissy Brooks, really likes fish, she ain't much, no, oh, I know, I saw that.
Okay, but see, here's the question. Why? Here's one, it's 356 days. What is that?
That's just an individual mistake, so we can vote.
Yeah, but then we're allotted money to go through. So why are we 356, but only one?
I think this 133 is our district, which, how many, I don't even know where the precincts that we have. So I guess we're at 35 precincts or whatever. So each precinct, if I got the email,
Yes, so-
gets so many. We get 16, depending on how much voter or whatever. But I think it all adds up to that 133. So I guess in the state, within the state, all 133 is added to all the other areas. It's Western, Piedmont, it's so many. I guess we're considered, but he was like, June,
That's what it said.
Oh, yeah. Hilarious. Oh, it's so much fun. Oh, yeah. It's a good
Well,
one.
that.
But, he goes, you should talk to Jim. Jim knows everything. He would probably like you to work in this tree. I don't need to talk to Jim because I'm good at asking people to do this. Because I don't even want to do it. You know, so why do I want to get other? I mean, that's bad. That's really bad. You don't want to do what you're supposed to do. You don't want to do it. It's crazy.
It is, and you know what, that's too usually be in this, like you said, that's for work, and then.
I mean, it's been the judges recruited. But here's the thing, each other. No. But here's the thing, I never did the district. So my voting on there, and then what do we do for? We're good for the end of the fall, which I doubt is. Well, exactly, and here's the thing, nobody, I mean, I have all the people that are available, who shows up to the group? It's always just us. We always just do it, and it was like, I got this woman lady kept calling me for pleasure for this permit, and she's like, we don't need something. I said, I know, because number one, my husband works, and he's not an individual, he can't do that job. Number two, she works, and number three, her husband ain't gonna be out there, he's gonna be with her. So who would you like me to get to help me? And I'm like, she goes, well, we need people. And I said, listen, I said, I will work my shift. I said, I will go earlier and I will stay later. And I will do what I can. And that's all I can do. I said, because it's a one-man show out for this time. What do you think is going on?
But just, but it's, the thing is Jane, she comes out there, we got to have volunteers, it's all your direction, we got to have volunteers, we need volunteers for the fall. Well, you know, we're learning them all.
And part of the reason is
said, and he was what? 12?
He was like 10,
Yeah,
11, something like
he
that.
sees it. She was, I heard Jane, one more time, I'm going to talk, so I'll have you more minutes. And I'll ask her, if she calls or whatever, and you'll ask her a question, I'll have you more minutes, I don't know what she was. Oh, yeah, she told she was there twice, and she said she does that with me one more time, I will never ever call and talk to her again. I mean, she told me that 3 or 4 times. I don't have any more minutes.
Wow.
It sure is funny. You come out there to my truck, tell me, you say, I had, my goodness. She brought Cecil lunch, and she didn't take it in. She said, on my television, she said, Cecil's gonna come out and get this in a few minutes.
So you have a burger?
He was inside. And then, Luke Forley came. Nice guy. I love him. He was a kid and stuff. He came, he drove to the moon and that on Friday. And it rained all that. He got in the rain, shield, nothing on. Jamie got in the rain with, when Caesar came, he was just like a water man. And, said, when we get, get ready to leave or whatever, just leave it with mine, we'll put it in this truck. Then that's just when they, my truck is full of 2 coasters, 2 sets of gloves, scarves, lunch, cards for Luke Morley, and Christian Range on the first Thursday, not your Thursday, our Thursday. We should have set up nice list for the right sides.
I can call pictures.
Yeah, it was nice guy. I really liked him. And then he came to get it on. So I helped him, I helped him set up the right thing.
Are you sure that was funny? Okay. I didn't know what, but I keep saying, and I don't know how that race got won like it did. I swear to God, yeah.
You know, that's just what they started.
I can't stand it.
Well,
I really thought Reagan would win. Me too. When I saw that was one of the races that I was so
he worked
disappointed in.
hard, bless his heart. I mean, and he was over the best. He had air that was killed. So he left and went to the first year. And he was here or something, Walgreens or somewhere. And he come back and he said, it was wind was blowing, it was blowing, everything was ten down. He was, I'm just going to take all this down. I said, it was very bad. I said, we should have taken it all. He had his calls on the bank. And that's our favorite. So we had Jason cars, we had Chris Green's cars, she had her cars. And then here's your Chuck Edwards guy, guy and girl, husband and wife, he was always out there.
Always out there, they were never there.
Show her about 10 and leave about 2 or 3.
I never saw anybody for Edward.
Rogers, his name, he was in the meeting Thursday night. He said, right across, straight across the aisle. Church. Straight, he's straight. She's for you. She's high.
An older guy, he sat beside her.
He was across the aisle. Yeah. But his hair was real short on the side, his kind of short on top. But weird, he's a weird guy. His wife's name is Steve. But they're retired. And there, she's out there, she's doing signs, man, she's done the judging. And I talked to her a lot, because, last time he was on the video. And she come up to me after that, and she, and I said, I don't know. And I said, I ain't decided yet. So she goes, well, you got to be because of it. And I said, yeah, I didn't ask him. I didn't say anything to that. I just saw him and he was coming. I said, I'll put that in my truck and put it on. Well, 2 hours after that, she gets a phone call from Judge Edwards' attorney. And she went to the truck and called. Oh, she was calling. I was there on the
Y'all were the GOP though, so it shouldn't matter.
Somebody thought this way, look her, was our cars, Jay's cars, and Christian's. I went to that. I was in myself, she was in Williams, and she just got out, and that's what she was doing about it. And she called me, I just got out of that, and I saw her in the wall. And I said, what's wrong? Yes, she was, inconspicuous. Anybody's cars,
But y'all can promote anybody that you want, because you're not on the
and I said,
GOP.
why? She said, somebody just called Chuck Davis.
Who cares?
Well, so, it was something that Chuck called her. And says, I was going,
Because Chuck was there before she was born. Oh, isn't that funny?
so, it's not that, Tommy
I know, we were actually going to get to leave early. What happened? It's your fault, your fault.
You all right, still light outside?
A little bit.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm still waiting on Jim, I think.
Yeah, that bill is on a go pass.
So Shay Davis is stepping back in, who used to be mayor.
Okay.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.
But yeah, thank you for setting that up, Mark.
Yeah.
All right. Pull